Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Lifetime Christmas movies.
I'm Patrick Serrano, and I am a Lifetime movie expert.
I'm Dan, and I despise Lifetime Christmas movies, and this is the Deck the
Deck the
Lifetime
Lifetime
Encore
Encore
podcast.
Go, 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 go. Shake it, move it, dance it, groove it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first of four Christmas in July Deck the Lifetime Uncorks.
'Tis the season, Brand.
Feels right. Patrick, I gave you a mission, and the mission was to go and find four classic Lifetime Christmas movies that are weird, wacky, and fun, and you did it.
I did it. You know, I usually don't like homework, but when you give me homework, I like it because it's always fun. And these movies that I picked are all like the old school, like Lifetime. What made Lifetime Christmas movies like special to me, which means a lot more saucy, a lot more catty, if you will. Christmas is not the time for nice. Christmas is the time for a mean brunette.
A lot more saucy, a lot more catty is what we're going to get here.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Patrick, this is your first time seeing what Balsam Hill has done with the set. What do you think?
That's amazing.
Right?
I love it. You guys are together. Like, you guys are like right by the fireplace.
Yeah, we are.
I mean,
that's right.
Yeah, you can
got our Balsam Hill tree, our Balsam Hill garland, some twinkly lights.
Like between the candle that smells like Christmas.
We haven't even really talked about the candle yet. This candle's
between
phenomenal.
the candle that smells like Christmas and this tree that looks. I've always been a real tree boy my whole life. That looks like a real tree. It does feel as Christmassy as I've ever felt.
You know what I like about this? I've never actually had a candle like this before that has like a lid.
Yeah,
but like I don't know if you know about lids, Patrick, but they typically like keep smells in, and I didn't think that it would be as effective as it is. But when you
howdy,
you pop this thing off,
man,
and I didn't know that was a thing that Balsam Hill did. But you can get anything. But my favorite thing about the process of decorating the set was that in the tree box,
they don't mess around.
They sent gloves.
Wow,
that's right.
So
if the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit.
That's exactly right.
That's right.
But still put up the tree. So that was very exciting. That was very exciting.
Yeah, it was.
So I guess I'll never ever put up a tree again without having gloves on.
I didn't know
what
I was.
I didn't realize what I was missing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize what I was missing all these years.
That is genius. Balsam Hill. They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
They do.
They sure do. Patrick, you know what you're doing because you picked four goodies, and the first one is Forever Christmas, which
or Mr. 365.
That's right.
Mr.
So some people
365.
that did their homework and watched the movie ahead of time likely found it on streaming as Mr. 365, a movie that apparently originally aired or simultaneously on something called Passion Flix, a service that we cannot in good faith recommend. We haven't done the deep dive into Passion Flix. I don't know if this is something we can talk about. But this movie also aired on Lifetime and Passion Flix at the same time.
Both hands.
Yeah. And passion, you know, is so great. Like, what a great word, passion, you know?
I love it.
Yeah.
Passion.
Yeah.
Passion Flix.
Yeah, that made us TV 14.
Right? It's the way that depending on how you say Passion Flix, it can really up the ante.
It's true.
So let's dive in, Patrick. You and I both watched it. Dan did not watch it. Let's explain this movie to Dan and see how we feel about it.
All right. So we have Forever Christmas. It originally aired in 2020, and it stars Chelsea Hobbs, Christopher Russell, and a three-namer, Matthew Kevin Anderson.
Matthew Kevin Anderson.
Who is Matthew Kevin Anderson in this movie? Is he the director, producer guy?
He's the boss.
Okay, yeah. Did you only include him because he has three names?
I did, and he was playing a gay character, so I was like, well, we like that.
Of course.
What is it? Matthew Kevin
Anderson.
Yeah. Anderson.
Chris Russell's a regular, though.
Chris Russell, he's we've seen him a lot on Hallmark. Is he a staple on Lifetime as well?
I don't think so. Okay. I think maybe they wanted to try to sell this to Hallmark, and Hallmark was too steamy.
We can't get in bed with Passion Flix.
And yeah, Chelsea Hobbs is like really like cool girl, like very chill. So the stars interested me in this one.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love it.
And actually, jumping one little fact before we get started.
Love facts.
This was the last film I watched with Drew, my producer,
Oh man.
before the stroke. So I was like, oh man, I got to do this movie because he was like so shocked by this movie. So
Oh,
Dan,
wow.
you're in for a good time. You're
Yeah.
in for a
Pour it
good
up
time.
for Drew.
Pour it up for
I
Drew.
love it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely. Okay, so we have Sophie. She is recently single.
Mhm.
And she is, making smoothies, working out on her elliptical, that whole thing, like a beginning montage of healthy living. And she's like so over Christmas. People that talk about Christmas, she's like so annoyed with
Yeah.
everything about Christmas.
I immediately hate
And-
her. I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's not my
She's
vibe.
like, ugh, it's November 1st. Like, relax, everybody.
Yeah, that's a real Dan move there.
Wait a minute.
On November 1st,
I don't want any part
You're
of
rolling
Christmas.
your eyes
I
at
don't want
me.
any part of Christmas on November 1st. But if you want to do it, I'm not going to yuck your yum. Now, if we're in the car together and you're going to be like, let's play the Christmas tunes, then I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be like, no, that's not what we're doing. It's
Well-
November 1st. That's not why we're here. Where are you on that, Patrick?
Yeah, like I like to wait till, I mean, I guess I don't have a choice because I cover these movies, but if I had my preference after Thanksgiving,
See,
yeah.
Patrick gets it. I've said that for years. Patrick Serrano gets
yeah,
it.
and you guys can
Understand.
both have fun being horrible people, and I'll be over here having fun listening to Christmas music whenever I want to. I listened to Christmas music last weekend
Yeah.
just
Good
for
for you,
fun.
Go.
Just for fun.
Fine. Well, Sophie is not doing that,
No, she's
okay?
not.
She is a reality TV show producer.
She sure is.
And this is something that we don't see at Christmas. Reality shows are not Christmassy. I mean, there has been a few, but it's not normally correlated, right? She has a producer boss, our Kevin Anderson. His name is Paul in this movie, and he wants Sophie to come up with a story because she was working on a show and it didn't take. They didn't want it. So now she has to she's looking through articles. She finds this Mr. 365 who has Christmas in his house 365 days a year.
He
So
has
it's
his-
not like he's living Christmas over and over again.
No.
He is Christmas stuff up all the time.
Yeah, the inside of his house is decorated for Christmas all year.
He's one of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's one of those people. So he probably is listening to Christmas music
Of course.
365, and his name's Will Saunders. He's our hunk of the movie. And Sophie's like, this guy will be great. Like, I'm going to convince him to do it. She does some online research, calls Will, and he's like, sorry, I hate reality TV. I'm not interested, and hangs up.
See you, suckers.
Which is fair. If somebody called you out of the blue,
You would be down for reality TV.
I
Brandon.
would,
You
depending
would.
on
No,
the
it
show.
wouldn't
Yeah.
depend. You would be in if anybody called you. You'd be in.
I'm not going on a dating show.
Well, obviously.
Amazing Race calls wants you.
I don't
to
know if I
go
would do
on.
that
You're
either.
definitely going.
I don't want
Brandon would be
Amazing-
out first round of Amazing
Yeah.
Race. He's got to
Survivor,
eat food and
I
run.
wouldn't do.
Forget it.
Honestly, I don't think I'm cut out for reality TV.
What it would just like Real World. You wouldn't go Real World?
Probably not.
You just have to live in a house.
Yeah, but then I'm
Couldn't do
I'm
that.
away from my family and I get sad and I don't sleep well.
So,
Like I'm not
Well,
cut
and
out
then-
for this life.
but you're going right, Patrick. Like if somebody calls you,
Oh,
yeah.
please. I have auditioned for the Real World many times.
But
Okay.
if somebody called me and said, "Hey, we want to do a reality show on a guy who loves Christmas so much he made it his job," then I would listen. So the fact that
Yeah.
he wasn't even a little bit interested, I was like, I don't know.
I don't want to skate past the fact that Patrick has not waited for a phone call. He has auditioned for the Real World.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he's put,
Like,
you've put down some tape.
So what do? You submit a submission tape?
I went in person in Washington, D.C., and I made friends with everybody. I was like, somebody's a secret producer around here. I got to make everyone my friend. And I made everyone my friend. And we sat in a circle, and everyone told really traumatizing stories. And I'm like, I'm the gay one. Just pick me for that. And that didn't fly. That was for the Vegas season. So they were looking for somebody a little bit different.
You tried to be the token gay character in Las Vegas Real World. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I wanted to be Tershel, but they wouldn't let me.
Ugh.
They already had a They already had a
Did they
Tershel.
ask you any other questions, or was that it? Just like share some stories.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then if they wanted to do a second round, you'd get like a phone interview, and then you do like a phone interview on tape. And
But
yeah.
you've never made
Oh,
it
you didn't
past
get a
the sitting
second
in a
interview.
circle telling traumatizing stories.
that was enough for me. I was like, I don't think I'm traumatized enough for this life.
Fair. Would you go?
When it came to you, did you just go like, I'm gay?
Yeah, I'm like,
Like, look
I came
around.
out and everything was fine, and my parents were so accepting, and they were like, "You're boring."
He's from Virginia, and his parents were accepting. Out. Get out.
Get out of
He
here.
really likes Mandy Moore.
We don't need, we don't need all this affirmation around here. It's ridiculous. What about Amazing Race? Would you do that one?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'd be down for
You think you
Amazing
could do
Race.
it? Like you would go far?
Yeah, I think I'd go far.
Wow.
I like traveling.
Can
Doesn't
I
bother
throw
me.
this?
I would crush
because it's
with
Amazing Race. Is it teams?
Yes, teams.
Teams?
Could
Oh,
you guys?
Patrick
You and-
Serrano and I would crush Amazing Race.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
What are we doing here, guys?
Yeah, we'd crush it.
That's what we're
Yeah.
talking. This is it. This is what it's all about.
It'd be too easy.
Yeah.
It would be the problem, I think.
Yep. And for those type of shows, people always have their friends submit them. So maybe a listener could submit us,
right.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
go.
So
Yeah,
many
yeah.
people
So-
submitted these two guys.
Yeah, how weird.
They've
Okay,
met each other
They
in
send
person
a really
one
long.
time.
They send a really long bio about Dan, and then for Patrick, they just say he's gay.
and his parents
Just
were
weird.
affirming.
right?
And
Yes.
his parents were affirming.
That's right.
There you go.
But they
That's all you
seem
need
really
to know.
cool.
Yeah.
Dan
No, I'm
had
in.
Dan coaches basketball.
As long as I can drive everywhere, Patrick. That's all that I care
Wow,
about.
yeah.
Is I want to drive.
That was already established. I mean,
We did
on
hear the
day
Toyota
one.
we've heard
Corolla
we've heard
story.
your stories.
Yeah,
No,
that's right.
Yeah, we know. Okay, so Sophie goes to get coffee. She it runs into Will, of course, or she's like, I guess meeting him because she like mistakes a couple people. She's like, "Are you Will? Are you Will?" And then she finally meets him, and she's like, "Whoa, this guy is hot," and she's like flabbergasted, like fumbling her words, type of thing.
Yeah, because
and he-
I think when you hear the story, you are picturing me, and
But-
then
But it's Chris
you
Russell,
get Chris Russell.
who is
Yeah.
unequivocally.
It's a fair
like,
reaction on her bit.
come
her
on.
part.
That's the biggest reaction Brand's ever had to a Hallmark hunk being shirtless.
Yeah, well,
Of all time.
buckle up, bud.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, it is a reality show. So she's like talking to him, and he explains that he inherited the house from his grandparents, and he's like, telling the sad story, and she's like, "Oh, that's gonna be great." He takes her to the house, shows her around. It's like, decorated, not like a Balsam Hill decoration. It's like, sparse, like kind of sparse.
I gotta
like,
be
there's a
honest.
mermaid-
I was underwhelmed by
Yeah.
the Christmas decorations. And there's a weird thing, and we will get back to it. But like everything, like he's like, yeah, I've got some boxes hanging from the roof, the ceiling, and blah blah blah. So this corner's my mermaid corner, and he has
Yeah.
a corner of his living room that's like a ship, and it's a Christmas
mermaid.
ship, a Christmas mermaid corner, and it's super
What?
weird.
Yeah.
He gives an explanation later on in the movie that I just don't think justifies a mermaid Christmas corner. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, should we just say what it was?
Yeah, sure. He his ex-girlfriend was really into mermaids.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, one of those.
So he had a girlfriend, and to impress her, he said, "You know my
can have a
Christmas, you know
corner
my
of the
Christmas
house.
house. I'll give you a mermaid
A corner. Wow.
Right.
Bold.
And you need to say, Will, you're so hot. You don't need to make me a mermaid room. You just need to be
You
yourself.
sure don't.
That's right.
You just need to be yourself. Sophie is impressed. And there's one little detail that I didn't catch the first time I watched it in 2020, and now I'm watching it as a full grown up now. He says, I got all these Christmas decorations from a movie I was working on. He's a carpenter on like movie sets. So he just instead of getting paid for his job, they paid him in Christmas decorations.
Yeah, it was a weird
I'm
thing.
like,
I also,
what?
I don't know why, but for some reason they make a point to let you know that he's a 33-year-old carpenter that's obsessed with
Yeah,
Christmas.
that's something.
And it's
That's
just like
move.
a weird, like, we know fun facts about Jesus.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
33 to Carpenter. But yeah, it is weird that that's the way in which he got
And they paid him in Christmas
decorations.
I would be furious.
He's a 33-year-old Carpenter.
Yeah, so mad. So he's like into it now. Like Sophie has convinced him. She's leaving, and she runs into this neighbor, and he's really grumpy. His name's Fred.
Ugh,
And
grumpy Fred.
he must be on the HOA or something because he has an injunction where they can have Christmas on the inside, but not on the outside till November 1st.
Yeah,
or
I
whatever.
think you can have the lights on the house, but I don't think you can turn the lights on until after Thanksgiving, I think is what they say.
Probably.
So they
Yeah.
do this whole thing where they're decorating the outside.
I like
and Fred comes
already.
over.
I think that's fair. Fair and balanced.
Fall down somewhere.
Go fall down.
Don't get too hurt, but like scrape your knee.
Yeah.
He is very much like, we're not doing this. And so they set everything up, and he's like, Fred, don't worry, we're not going to turn it on yet. We're just putting it up. So a little bit of a battle there that doesn't really amount to much, but it does happen.
No. So Sophie gets the okay. She rolls up with her crew. She's got Lindsay, Kayla, Gia, Aaron, all these people. And they're all like, when they see Will, their like tongues fall out like a wolf on like a cartoon.
Yeah.
They're like, ooga, ooga, ooga. They are thirsty for this man.
Yeah.
They're all of them.
Everybody is ready to risk anything for Chris Russell.
Yeah. Yeah.
And fair.
Yeah. And Will and Sophie have a lot of like chemistry. Like they're like almost kiss like every time they're talking. It's like
This is
every time.
the chemistry is insane. I felt like they were going to go at it at any given moment.
But is it just their proximity to each other?
It's just something about them is just like these two just get a room already. Like it is just real steamy.
Don't you feel like it has to be like, if you're gonna have it be Mr. Christmas 365, you kind of have to be Chris Russell for people to like excuse it,
Yeah.
and for you to be considered normal, right? Like if he was, if he looked like Bran, that everybody be like, just stay away from crazy B down the street.
People do say that. They do say stay away from Crazy B.
Mostly me, but you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at the beginning of the movie, all the producers and stuff were like, "Oh, this guy sounds like a loser. We're not very excited for this." And then they like see him and they're like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Wow.
So they film like, you know, like just B-roll reality stuff, and then they have him do like an intro, and they give him this shirt. It's like I don't even know what it says. It's like maybe a Mr. 365 or something.
Yes.
And it's like not working. Like he's like, I'm very uncomfortable in this shirt. Like they put the makeup on. He's like very uncomfortable with the makeup. He basically every step in this process, Will is uncomfortable and like stiff and like awkward.
He doesn't
want to
do it.
He doesn't
He
want
doesn't
to do
wanna do
it.
it.
He's not comfortable
good.
in front of the camera. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And so producer, she's like, "Hey, how about you go back to the shirt you're comfortable in? Maybe that'll make you more comfortable."
Yeah.
And instead of doing what most people do, where they, don't take their shirt off in front of everybody when they're changing shirts, he just does it.
Yeah, of course he
He
does.
rips his shirt off, puts the other one on.
Mm.
We're better. We are better for it. We're better for it. And if you think it's the last time it's going to happen, dead wrong. But boy, it is an interesting move. It's a weird combination of like, I hate being in front of the camera, but I also am totally fine switching shirts
Is it
in
a
front
don't
of
make me
anybody
sing? It's a
and
don't make me
anybody and
sing
everybody.
situation.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and he's oblivious. He doesn't really understand like that the cameras are rolling and the cameras are shooting, there's like the male gaze. This is like the female gaze. We're like on the abs. We're like panning up, like getting the chest. It's like
the boom mic operator audibly is like, which by the way, gets picked up by your microphone. I don't know if you know how microphones work, audio lady, but
she doesn't care. Everybody was just like, oh, the camera guy's like going for it. So, and I didn't really think this the first time, but Sophie, the producer, she obviously knows what she's doing. She did it on purpose, right? She's like a little sneaky.
Yeah, I don't know. I that's a great point. I couldn't figure out if she was trying to get him to take his shirt off on camera, or if that's just the way that it is. Like if she's just, I can't tell because their chemistry is so crazy. I assume she's always trying to get him to take his shirt off, but I also don't know if she was expecting that. It was hard to read.
It seems like she has a bag of producer tricks that she pulls out, and at this point in the movie, she's not morally, having an issue with that.
Right.
She's doing her normal producer tricks.
You got to do
on
what you
this
got
You
to
got
do.
to do what you got to do.
We're trying to make
Yeah,
we're trying to make
course.
TV magic here.
Come on.
Speaking of TV
Exactly.
magic, let's take a quick break, Patrick, and we'll come right back and we'll keep talking about this movie here on Deck the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark, Lifetime Uncorked.
Welcome back to our little winter wonderland here on Christmas in July. Having a wonderful time talking about Forever Christmas. Patrick, we were talking about how he took his shirt off, and now
The end.
and that's
The
that's-
end. Roll
that's the other
credits.
movie. What happens next?
So Will brings some flowers over to Sophie's house to apologize for being so awkward on set and like pushing back on every move, and this is where the chemistry again comes into play, and Brand's gonna be freaking out because we're just at the beginning of the movie and they make out like hardcore.
Hardcore makeout sesh. And you're like, well, here we are now. Where do we go from here? She does eventually call it off and tell him to go home.
So there's a hardcore makeout sesh.
Yeah.
And then she's
Yeah.
like, no.
Because I'm
the producer.
producing the show. This
Keep
isn't.
it professional.
That's right. Keep it professional.
But he knew it, like, because earlier, before this happened, like, he was like, hey, do you want to stay for dinner? And she's like, I can't do that. And so then he's just like, well, still going to shoot my shot. So then he shows up at her house with the flowers. So it's like, he's clearly like,
He thinks it's a passion flick.
he thinks it's a Passion Flicks joint. She's
That's
not
right.
so sure about it. She thinks she's supposed to be doing a Hallmark movie.
That's right.
And so we're caught in betwixt.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we go back on set. Now there's like awkward tension between them. And Paul, the boss, he's like, let me take over the questions because Sophie's like softballing it, And we find out that Will's parents died, of course, because you have to have dead parents. And I think that's probably where we learn about the mermaid ex-girlfriend too. And yeah, so the production continues on the show. We get like a montage of like all the crazy things, the kooky things they're doing. They're making him like climb a ladder. He's like falling off the ladder.
Is there no one else in the show?
No,
but
it's just him. It's just
It's
him.
just him.
It's just
Do
him.
they
also
know
do,
that
like-
reality television really only works if people interact with other people?
Right. They do have like him like with some kids around, like giving out presents, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like he's Mr.
Okay,
Christmas
got it.
365.
Got it.
But
So-
at this point, I am foggy on what the show is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and I think everybody else is too.
They interview the neighbors too. The neighbors are like, "Oh, I love this house," or "Oh, this house is so annoying," like that type of thing.
This guy.
Sophie and they do make out again though.
Yeah.
Back in a secret room with a gingerbread house.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gonna happen a good bit. Just like, hey, we can't do this. We're by a gingerbread house. I guess we need to make out. And that happens from time to time.
Yeah, it's like mistletoe, but everything is mistletoe.
Right. Candy cane, time to kissy.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh, I don't know this tradition." Okay.
Candy cane time to kissy.
Time to kiss.
Yeah, of course.
So they go Christmas tree shopping because we got to add some more Christmas trees around, and they make out while saying like sexy tree puns.
Yeah.
So every time they make out, are they like, we can't do this? Every time?
I think now
Yeah.
now that he is helping her find a Christmas tree, I think from this point forward, she's no longer going to try to push back.
Okay. She's like let's
Right.
just do
She's
this.
like, now
Passion
we're in it.
flicks.
I'm in it. We're in it.
That's right.
Yeah, and they like bring the tree home. They decorate the tree. They talk about "It's a Wonderful Life," and then they like slow dance.
Yep.
Here, and it's like very sexy. And I'm here for that. It's great, right?
We love a good little slow dance to Christmas tunes.
Yeah.
Who's not here for that?
It's nice. It's nice. But Paul, the boss guy, is like, this is not dramatic enough. He wants Sophie to pull out more tricks, right? He's like,
Yeah.
we got to get more
Some conflict
tricks.
for Mr. Christmas.
So the gingerbread house, or as Sophie says, house, is a sentimental gingerbread house. Like it was from his grandfather, passed down from generation to generation. And Sophie orchestrates this thing where the boom operator's like, everyone move back, or like my mic's in the shot. And they keep moving back, and then they fall on the gingerbread house and break the house.
Oh man. That's
And she's waiting for Will to have this huge explosive freak out, but he's like, it's fine. It's okay. It was just a family heirloom and I'm upset, but it's just a thing.
Oh,
You know?
wow.
So she doesn't get the moment that
So they
she
can't
wants.
get a rise out of him.
Yeah. But she does, like, that's a moment where the producer Bag of Tricks, I was like, oh, she was pulling a trick on him. I was
So
like,
you still think
You
that
think
you
she's
still
in on
think that she's doing that?
It's her job. She has to. She's a producer.
I don't
producer.
know. I think by this point they had already made up multiple times. I think by this point they had already hooked up. At that point you can't be messing with the gingerbread house, right?
Oh, if your boss says you need to get more drama on a reality
Man.
show, you got to get the drama.
Man.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
I see that's like Brand. You're having a rosy colored glasses.
Yeah, bro, that's how Brand lives his life, Patrick, is everyone is wonderful and awesome, and they would never. And that's why he's been scammed twice online.
It felt unnecessary to bring that up during Christmas in July of all times.
I know. So the drama doesn't go. So the producer, the boss guy, does a sit-down interview with a therapist to just confirm that having Christmas in your house 365 is insane.
Yeah.
And based
Get
on
a
some
different therapist. Live your life. I have a tree up in my room all year. If my therapist tells me to take it down, I will never see that therapist again.
This is a guy with a giant beard and one glove on telling you to live your life, and I
Live
want to
your-
be very
Do
clear
what you
about that.
want.
There you go. So they get that footage. So they're going to get the drama any way that they can. And then Paul gets the drama he's looking for. And he finds some camera footage of Will and Sophie hooking up because they hooked up in, I don't know where.
When she
like
caught
a
me on the
garage or-
counter, wasn't me.
Then you're coming on the gingerbread house? Maybe over by
You know,
the
it's a-
candy canes?
It's a reality show. So they have cameras everywhere. So
Yeah.
they catch
We were
them,
over on
and
the
he's like,
gumdrops?
Yes. So he is going to use that footage, and the promo is like released. So they released the promo. Everything's seeming good between
Yeah,
Sophie and Will.
clicking.
They're clicking.
What's the
In
problem?
this promo,
Yeah.
I didn't bring a clip of the promo because it must be seen to be believed. It is so good. It is like the trashiest reality TV show.
It's an
promo you can think of.
absolute smear job.
Schmear job?
Smear job. Like
I
just
I'm not comfortable
makes
with that.
him look like the worst and the dumbest. Like just as
Yeah.
like dumb as rocks.
Like a dumb jock, like they do the intro and he's like, oh, I can't say my name. Let me just take off my shirt and be hot.
They
That
have
type
him
of thing.
falling off the roof with no context. Like it's
Is
just
he not that guy though?
he. The problem is he is that guy.
Yeah.
But he has feelings. He has
He
feelings.
does have
Feelings.
feelings, and that's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Okay.
And the promo cut has all these like kooky sounds like boing.
Yeah,
and, like
classic.
Yeah.
They know how to sell it. Yeah.
Speaking of sound effects, let's hear the break sound effect.
Ooh, we
You like
could
what I
do
did
that,
and
for
then we'll
sure.
come back and we'll
yeah.
wrap this sucker up here on Deck the Lifetime Uncorked
Podcast.
podcast show. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. We're talking about Forever Christmas here. Our first of 4 Christmas in July Deck the Lifetime Uncorked. Very
It's an
excited.
exciting
about
time.
it. It feels good.
Yeah.
It smells good in here. It looks good in here.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so the promo has been shown, and it is not
Yeah.
great, and our guy is very upset.
Oh, very upset. And Sophie's very upset. She goes to the producer, her boss, and she's like, "What the heck? That's not what we agreed to, the tone." And she's like, "I'm quitting. This is unacceptable." And he's like, "You can quit. You can quit. But then you have no say in the show that you're making."
Oh,
And
so
she's
he's
like,
kind of blackmailing her. He knows that she has feelings for him. So he's like, if you quit, I'm going to make it worse. Yeah, at this point, Patrick, I'm not sure she was trying to do things to him at all. I don't know if she was
Right.
being producer.
There you go. It's up for interpretation.
It sure
It's up
is,
for
because the
interpretation.
first time you watched it, you didn't get that. This is a second time revelation.
The first time I was with you, Bran, but the second time I was like, she's shady. She's shady, and I like.
I do think there was some shade early on. I do think once they kiss, she now has moves towards, hey, let's try to do right by this guy. But I don't know. But at least
Just a
at
man
this
with
point,
one glove.
will you stop about the glove? I couldn't do my phone with the other glove. But she sees this promo and clearly is very bothered by it, and she wants to try to fix it the best that she can.
Yeah, so she's hanging around so she can try to make Chris look as good as he could possibly look.
Yeah. So what she does is she recuts the promo herself
Oh, boy.
to make it kind of like this, like, I still don't know how this is a show, but it's like, this guy's awesome and he's great and he does a lot of things for charity and it like makes him look great. And when it comes time to show the show to the network, I guess. I don't know. I don't know where in the process we are, but at some point the network gets involved and she shows this promo instead of the other one, and the network's like, I love this. This is great.
This is the show we want.
This is the show that
a
we
happy,
want.
fun time reality show, not a stupid, silly, sleazy.
That's exactly right.
Reality show. That sounds like reality TV for sure.
Oh yeah, and the producers love it. They're like, this is gonna reinvent reality TV. It's gonna reinvigorate the genre. It's gonna be amazing. They're very into it. And Paul, he's like, good job, Sophie. Like, we did it. And she's like, I did it, not you.
But her boss is very much like, hey, I'm glad that worked out, but don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
But also like, hey, I think you got a big future here in reality TV. And she's like, I don't want to do this anymore because I had to go behind your back to do something that I thought was right, and I don't want to have to do that all the time. So I'm quitsies. Quitsy go daisies.
And the show's over now?
Yeah, I guess.
I think it has wrapped. I think it's wrapped. Yeah.
Awesome.
So Sophie rushes to Will's house and she leaves him a note and she asks for his respect and tells him that he's like an amazing man, and she didn't mean to like double cross him.
Right.
And he watches the show with his dog. Oh, there's a dog in the whole movie that like makes him even hotter. And
got it.
He loves the show. He thinks it's so great. She really captured his essence and like what he was trying to say about his grandparents at Christmas and Christmas 365. He brings flowers over on Christmas Eve, and they decide to explore their showmance. And he promises her 365 days of sexy time, and they kiss.
That's right.
And the end.
Passion flicks. And I do think, just for those of you playing at home, I think the shirtless Chris Russell count in this movie is 3 times, I believe. And so, that happens.
I would love it if she actually said she promises him 365 days of sexy time. That would be great if that was true. But I get the feeling Patrick just made that up.
It's implied. It's implied.
I do think he does like promise her that he'll give her a corner, like a special Christmas corner. We'll do something like with.
We'll see what she picked.
Yeah, it can be anything. We did a mermaid corner. This can be anything.
Yeah.
It can be
Pegasus.
Yeah.
Like
Dinosaurs. Dinosaurs eating McDonald's. Anything. It can be anything.
Dinosaurs eating McDonald's. Of course.
Whatever you want. Within reason.
I cannot emphasize enough how boring the rest of the house is, aside from the mermaid corner. It is
very basic.
Truly bizarre. All right, so what do we do now?
Okay, so now it's time for pour
it up,
put a cork in
or
it.
put a cork in it. We need like a jingle.
I should have a song.
We'll work on that.
Well, we will. But yeah, so pour it up means you would recommend. Put a cork in it means you wouldn't. And we'll start with Dan?
Yeah, I start. Yeah, sure. The movie sounds kind of like a nothing burger of a movie, but with a lot of crazy scenes in it. Like a lot of just like, it seems like it was just an excuse to have Chris Russell and Chelsea Hobbs as near as possible to each other in various stages of undress.
Yes.
And so, but on that alone, I'm going to pour it up, I guess, is what I'm going to do. So pouring it up for Mr. 365.
There you go. And Bran, what are you thinking?
So I am pouring it up. I will say it's closer than I thought that it would be.
To a cork?
I think my problems with this movie is it almost like his fandom of Christmas. I didn't really buy that. If that makes sense, Patrick. I don't know if you're with me on this one. It almost seemed like he was a fan of Christmas against his will. It didn't seem like he actually loved it and like was as like crazy. It seemed like, hey, I have this persona and I have to like try to do it, but like not like crazy about it. It would be like me saying I love Hallmark Christmas movies, and every time I put one on, I'm just like, I guess I gotta do this again, which is not the case. I'm so excited.
Chris Russell can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
He can act as though being colorblind is just a scourge from the devil.
He sure can.
He was Jack Reacher's brother in the Amazon Jack Reacher. I can't imagine him playing a character where he's supposed to be fully imbibed in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, it is tough because you can either have somebody who's like really like giddy and silly and goofy, but then there's no way that you can also have what we get out of Chris Russell here, which is Hubba Hubba Hunk Time. So they clearly said Hubba Hubba Hunk Time is more important than somebody who's like silly, zany Christmas time. And so that part of it fell short, but boy, the sparks are insane in this movie. I cannot stress that enough. The chemistry is some of the best I've ever seen in doing this job over the past 5 years. So that absolutely won, and you can right a lot of wrongs with good chemistry. So there you go, Patrick.
Yeah, and the passion
flicks.
Passion.
Yes. Going back and rewatching this, there was a different take that I had, obviously, which I think speaks well for a Christmas movie. If you can have two viewing different experiences watching the same movie twice, right? So I'm definitely pouring it up for that. Pouring it up for a Lifetime movie. There aren't many that are like unique. So this was like a nice reality show. Bring a little bit of like the trashy Lifetime that I like into the Christmas world, which we're seeing a lot more of, right? There's a lot more of like horror Christmas movies and like, stuff like that. So I would pour it up for that.
Oh, 3 pour it ups.
3 pour it ups. It's a good time.
Good time every time.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Listen, if for no other reason than somebody in the writer's room said, can we do a mermaid corner? And it happened. Like, that was the weirdest part of this movie and not even close.
And, in the writer's room, you just say, yeah, let's try it.
Let's try it.
See what happens.
Let's have our team construct a whole mermaid set.
What if we did it? Yeah.
It's almost like they had it left over from another movie. They were like, I guess we can do this here. I don't know, man.
Yeah, totally.
It was wacky and weird. Well, that was a lot of fun, I must say. A lot of fun. Patrick, we're going to be doing this every single week, and I do want to just double check my math here to make sure that I have the correct movie for next week. Next week, we're doing Holly's Holiday.
Oh, yes, we are.
Holly's Holiday. Do you want to give us a little teaser of Holly's Holiday?
I will say Holly's Holiday, if I'm remembering correctly, has mannequins.
Ooh, that's good. This is back in 2012. Lifetime 2012 joint. So we'll see how it all shakes out. We'll be back next time with that one. Until then, may we be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.